Coming up, crowning a new king.
And another entry in the supersonic market. Things are booming.
And getting together again. It's good to be back. AOPA Live This Week continues in just a moment.
I remember developing A20 and thinking, is this as good as it can be? Can I make it better? You can't have the mindset that it's impossible to make it better. If you're already at that mindset, you might as well go home.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Alyssa Cobb and Warren Morningstar filling in for Tom Haynes.
It's the fifth strongest storm to ever make landfall in the United States. Hurricane Ida came ashore in Louisiana as a strong Category 4 hurricane.
That's right, and video from the Weather Channel shows the Houma Airport sustained significant damage. Our Airport Support Network volunteer tells us that 2 hangars were damaged and a Piper Malibu lost a wing at Louisiana Regional Airport. That's between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Now, the slow-moving storm lashed the state with 150-mile-per-hour sustained winds and caused widespread damage. More than a dozen deaths had been attributed to the storm as it moved from Louisiana into the Northeast, and that number is predicted to rise. And General Aviation is doing what we do in times of crisis, rallying to help the affected. Fortunately, the road system was not widely damaged in this storm, so the pressing need to fly in supplies is not as great as it had been in previous events, but there are still needs to be met. The Cajun Navy, a volunteer group of boat owners, is out in the parishes helping locals. Operation Airdrop has stepped in to help them coordinate with Operation Barbecue Relief. The group of volunteer pilots is flying hot food cooked by volunteers in to help feed the rescuers and those impacted by Ida. Operation Airdrop's Doug Jackson says GA is critical.
There's no other way to do what we're doing right now other than general aviation aircraft. There's no way of getting that food from Hammond, where Operation Barbecue Relief is set up, down to the people that need it. And this is where GA really shines, and where our amazing volunteers shine.
And another group is in action. Aerobridge is a general aviation relief organization. Now, on their Facebook page, Aerobridge says they are continuing to focus on flying donated emergency supplies staged in Pensacola, Florida, and Shreveport, Louisiana, to airports in the hardest hit area. Now, both Aerobridge and Operation Airdrop have ways for people to donate to their efforts. You can find out more on their websites. Well, at the time we recorded this show, there weren't any TFRs specifically related to Hurricane Ida impacts, but the FAA has established an airspace coordination area over the Gulf Coast. There will be an increasing number of aircraft flying to support relief efforts in this area, and TFRs may pop up with short notice. TFRs may also be used to meter traffic into the area or into specific airports. And as the storm moves north and east, be aware that flooding might affect airports in those parts of the country. So please, as we always say, check NOTAMs.
Well, it's the first event for AOPA since the COVID-19 pandemic put the brakes on in-person gatherings, and it was a good one. The AOPA Aviator Showcase is a single-day, consumer-focused event designed to connect pilots and aircraft owners to the general aviation industry. Our first of 2 planned for the year kicked off in Manassas, Virginia. AOPA Live's Paul Harrop and hundreds of others were there.
It's really hot today. It's really sunny for the people who are watching. I mean, it must be like 88, 90 degrees.
But don't worry, it was also humid. Welcome to a mid-Atlantic summer. But despite the thermal aggression, it was a pretty cool event. Everything from biz jets to piston singles, turboprops to tail draggers, lining the ramp at Manassas, and lined up to make decisions were folks like Mark Bailey. He owns part of an Archer that could use some updates.
I really wanted to come out and just visit and learn a little bit about the avionics. We did an avionics stack in our plane back in, I think, 2004. So it's getting a bit dated.
Yeah. So how does an event like this help you make those decisions?
Well, I get to actually ask a couple of questions. I actually asked the people who had a Garmin G5 about integration with the autopilot that we had in our plane.
And he was able to spend time with the vendors and get real one-on-one service. And speaking of service, you couldn't ask for more than the first-rate job Chantilly Air Jet Center did as our host.
Brand new facility we just opened in April, and we provide maintenance, management, and charter to anybody who's coming into the Manassas area.
And it was all made possible thanks to the help of volunteers like Jessica Citron. She was awarded one of AOPA's flight training scholarships in 2019 and works to give back to the community.
I'm just interested in it, and stuff like this is really cool. This is 45 minutes from where I live.
Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
Well, the second AOPA Aviator Showcase will take place October 1st in Fort Worth, Texas at Fort Worth Alliance Airport. Prior registration is required. You can find out all the information on our website.
Well, we found Tom last Friday in Manassas, Virginia. This week he's in Wichita, Kansas. So Tom, what takes you to Middle America?
I'm here in Wichita at the Flight Safety Citation Learning Center, and I'm participating with the CJ Pilots Association in a study to help train pilots to make better decisions around go-arounds. Landing and approach accidents are a significant portion of the accidents in the citation fleet and actually other business jets. And so they're trying to understand the decision-making that pilots make, whether to go around or not, and to help them do better at that kind of decision-making. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I'll be reporting more later.
Thanks, Tom. We look forward to your report. Well, it's a growing trend, and the FAA is not happy about it, and neither are a lot of pilots. Lasing, pointing a laser at an aircraft. Juveniles, and we're not just talking about age, may think it's funny. It's not. It could kill people, literally, and it's a federal crime.
A laser strike can temporarily blind a pilot or cause a serious eye injury. And as a pilot myself, I know that this danger is real. And that's why the FAA takes this threat very seriously. If a person shines a laser at a plane, it can mean a fine of up to $11,000 for a single incident and up to $30,800 for multiple incidents.
Now, laser strikes have been on the increase since reporting started in 2010. Nearly 7,000 reported strikes last year, up some 11% from the previous year. Now, the FAA wants you to report laser strikes to them or local law enforcement. There's a reporting site that's optimized for your mobile device.
Well, there's $1 million on the table from an anonymous donor, and you have the power to unlock the funds for the AOPA Foundation. The AOPA Foundation Legacy Challenge is one generous benefactor's way to grow the AOPA Legacy Society. Now, here's how it works. For each supporter who joins the Legacy Society after September 1st, Legacy funds in an amount equal to 10% of the supporter's disclosed planned gift will be activated from the $1 million pool. That's up to $20,000 per commitment. Now, those dollars will be made available for the essential programs funded by the AOPA Foundation immediately. AOPA Foundation Executive Director Melissa Rudinger says it's a way to make your legacy gift work now and later.
Normally, your legacy gift has an impact way in the future. No impact today. But with this challenge, your legacy gift of the future also has an immediate impact today by unlocking donor dollars.
The AOPA Foundation funds critical initiatives such as You Can Fly and the AOPA Air Safety Institute. They build a stronger, safer pilot community and ensure a healthy future for general aviation for generations to come. For more information on the Legacy Society, head to the AOPA Foundation website.
Well, do you follow some of the aviation social media influencers on YouTube? Well, here's a chance to get something from your heroes and do some good as well. A group of 17 stars are auctioning off 4 posters with their pictures and signatures. Money raised will go to the AOPA Air Safety Institute and the Woody Williams Foundation that supports Gold Star families. The auction is now live on eBay. Get your bids in before September 8th. Worthy causes both. Well, when we come back, a leap to the future.
And still the king.
Your plane is a valuable tool. With the Genesis Aerosystems S-Tech 3100 digital autopilot, you can rest assured you will arrive safely to your destination. The 3100 is the industry's most advanced autopilot for single and twin-engine aircraft, providing exceptional workload reduction, safety-enhancing capabilities such as straight and level mode and speed protection. To learn more, visit our website today.
Welcome back. Well, they're now delivering COVID-19 vaccines by drone. That first vaccine airlift in the U.S. happened last week in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at the Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist Hospital campus. UPS Flight Forward flies the drone, which moves vaccines from central pharmacy to family medicine practices on the campus. A special container monitors the vaccine's temperature and keeps it cold. Well, it's not the first COVID-19 vaccine drone delivery. UPS flew vaccines to distribution points in the African nation of Ghana.
Well, we note with sadness the passing of aviation pioneer James Raisbeck. He was known to many of us for his creation of the Robertson Stoll modifications for Cessna and Pipers. He continued his performance-enhancing innovations with Raisbeck Engineering. Raisbeck and his wife Sherry were a driving force in the Seattle area philanthropic community, including the Museum of Flight and the Raisbeck Aviation High School. We lost a giant.
That's right, Warren, a sad loss. Well, the COVID-19 recovery continues, at least economically. The General Aviation Manufacturers Association, or GAMA, releasing their second quarter numbers this week. Piston, turboprop, business jet, and helicopter deliveries increased across all segments during the first half of 2021. Things are up more than 45% in the turboprop segment, and helicopters are also up. While orders keep coming in for the electric E-Flyer from By Aerospace, 3 of the trainers will be headed to Iceland. Reykjavik Flight Academy has put in for 2 two-seaters and 1 four-seater. The operating costs are projected to be about 1/5 that of a combustion-engined airplane.
Well, Beechcraft is getting closer to getting the single-engine turboprop Denali into the air. Last week, they completed successful ground runs of GE's Catalyst engine. Now, GE claims the advanced turbine burns less fuel than older turboprop designs and is environmentally friendly. It will run on sustainable aviation fuels. Now, the Denali started life as the Cessna Denali, but earlier this year, Textron rebranded it as a Beechcraft. The Denali's first flight is anticipated for later this year. Now, when you think of twin-engine turboprops, what's the image in your mind? Well, more likely than not, it's a Beechcraft King Air. The big twin first appeared in 1964, and it's pretty much ruled the roost since then. Beechcraft continues to upgrade and improve the King Air. Tom Horn takes us flying in the latest iteration, the King Air 360.
Hi, we're back in Wichita with Textron, this time for a short video on the new King Air 360. From the outside, it looks like the previous 350 model, but the 360 has auto throttles, a new digital pressurization system, and a swanky interior redesign. For takeoff, press the go-around button on the power lever, and the system does the rest, bringing up the levers and setting up takeoff power. And you don't have to move the levers halfway up for the system to grab the levers. They come up from idle on their own. You set the auto throttle control using the glare shield mounted control panel, which doubles as a standby attitude indicator. You can set it up for the airspeed or torque value you want, and the power levers obey. But there are some things it won't let you do. If you get too close to an overspeed or underspeed, the power automatically comes back or comes up, as the case may be. And if you end up flying too near VMC in an engine out situation, that's when power on the good engine is automatically reduced to prevent a VMC rollover. The day I flew, there was precip and some buildups, but the multi-scan radar took it all in, rejecting ground clutter and sweeping at multiple scan angles. Like the auto throttles, the new pressurization system is a hands-free operation. It takes the departure and destination elevations from the FMS's flight plan and keeps the cabin lower than previous King Airs. Okay, coming down final now. There's the breakout. And yet another acceptable landing. See you on the next turbine ride-along. Tom Horn, AOPA Live.
And you can read more about the King Air 360 in September AOPA Pilot Magazine Turbine Edition.
Well, build a better mousetrap, and sooner or later, the big cats will buy you. Flight planning app ForeFlight got sucked up by Boeing, and now Collins Aerospace is buying flight tracking app FlightAware. Now, most of us know FlightAware for tracking our friends' flights, but the company also provides analytics and predictive information that FBOs and others find handy. Well, Victor Vescovo has climbed to the top of the world and submerged the very bottoms of the oceans. The adventurer was the first person to reach the deepest point of the Atlantic Ocean, and he says that it was his training as a pilot that helped prepare him for all of his challenges.
The skills that I learned as a pilot when I was 19 years old, flying at a flying club at Palo Alto, California, near Stanford, flying in a Cessna 150. That's where I got my license, my private, and then moved on from there to where I'm now doing, turbine helicopters and jets and now submersibles. But the discipline that one learns in becoming a pilot and the procedure-driven nature that you have to be a good pilot was absolutely essential in helping me succeed, not just in flying and in submarines, but also in mountain climbing expeditions or polar expeditions. I've referred many people to the kind of the saying that all these things are very different, but they sure as heck rhyme a lot. And by that, I mean the same process of doing your diligence about preparing yourself, looking at the weather, looking at the equipment that you'll have, being careful, being deliberate, making decisions with incomplete information under high stress. Those are all very common things. And I think it allowed me to be successful. I view my training as a pilot as absolutely essential to being able to achieve the things that I did.
Well, you can see all of Tom's interview with Victor Vescovo in the Pilot Lounge section on AOPALive.org or YouTube. And you can read more in the September issue of AOPA Pilot Magazine.
And finally, we guess you could call this Son of Concorde. Aerospace startup Leap has released these computer-generated images of its proposed supersonic aircraft. Now, they claim Mach 2 with bladeless engines, whatever that might be, and they say small propellers will be used for takeoff and landing to minimize noise. Now, Leap is self-funded by tech entrepreneur Driven Reddy. The South African is reportedly a billionaire. And while this all looks fanciful, we shouldn't forget that another South African tech guy has accomplished an awful lot. Can you say SpaceX? Alyssa, it's amazing how many companies now are moving into the supersonic market, but there's one that I think is just an unfortunate name, and that's Boom.
Right.
Well, and that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching and spending a little time with us.
That's right. And do us a favor, please. Like, share, and comment. We do want to hear from you. And we'll see you next Thursday for another edition of AOPA Live This Week.
Now's your chance to take part in the You Can Fly Challenge. From now until the end of the year, your gift to the AOPA Foundation will be matched. The high school initiative provides aviation STEM curriculum for students across the country. Flight training helps schools and instructors deliver the kind of experiences that today's pilots demand. Flying Clubs helps to start new clubs and provides support so existing clubs can flourish and grow. Help build a stronger pilot community today by visiting AOPAFoundation.org/challenge to have your gift doubled.